There are many advantages of public service, like cost free, but there are also disadvantages. They are delay of work, public service not have much pressure, facilities are not up to the mark, corruption takes place among the government to have stability. As the student told from the greenhouse, there is a lot more corruption in the government.
According to the research, in the year 2022-23, 72,157 government schools are closed, whereas in the same year, 3,48,444 private schools are open. I want to speak about the railway department. India's government decided that during the midtime from 2024 to 2030, they want to invest 50 crores in railways of India because they want to grow the India's railways. And they are taking more and more help from private companies. They are also investing in the railway department. So in public sectors, in public services also, privatization has been taken place.
We are here to speak against the privatization of public sector. I would like to introduce the participants of Blue House. Yash from 10A, James from 10B, Neha from 9B, and myself from 9A. So let us first understand how does the privatization take place. Public sector should be privatized or not. It mainly depends on political ideology. That is a set of principles, ethical ideas, a group that explains how society should work. As we all know that there are two wings involved in this operation. One is left wing, which is against the privatization of public sector and is characterized by an emphasis on ideas such as freedom, equality, rights, progress and reform. And it always favors nationalization. We think about the progress of the whole country. So today we, the members of Blue House, would like to support equality, rights and progress and present our views against the privatization of public sector.
Advantages of privatization. Private players may enter the market, establishing monopoly, less transparent, higher cost to consumer, lack of regulation, natural monopolies are formed. How does privatization affect the public sector? According to privatization supporters, this shift from public to private management is so profound that it will produce a monopoly of significant improvements, boosting the efficiency and equality of remaining government activities, reducing taxes and shrinking the size of government.
Question from dear is, why do you think that privatization needs in India while it is still in developing stages?
The main cause is to lessen the burden of government and save its money for high efficiency government.
But it is privatization does not affect more important than public sectors.
Example?
Suppose you take railways. In railways there is less efficiency. There is more number of people travel in that, and there is less price, and there is no such interventions that it cannot harm people.
I would like to say, now railway department is going to invest 50 crore rupees and it is done by privatization. Then how can you say that private railways are not good?
Railways are better because people can afford it everywhere and anytime.
Even though the railways are privatized by the government, the price of the
Day before yesterday, I was seeing an article where an income of a man who was manufacturing ice creams was seen in ice creams.
I did not understand anything.
Private ice cream.
I repeat the question. Give me some stumbling blocks of public sector. Even public services. I will come to that. So disadvantages of public services. I
unique product was made into another. That is the disadvantage of natural monopolies. They lead to competition, and if they do not succeed, they will get large amount of damages.
But it is not their goal, it is not for public. In public services, it is about welfare of the people. I would like to say that.
So the public service is good because they think about the welfare. And the purpose of the main purpose of private sector is only earn the profit, and the profit is also going to the shareholders, which are directly the owners of
And
the
it is only good for developing our country. And GDP is growing and more because of the privatization. Most of the public services have been privatized.
Can you give some examples?
BSNL of Tata.
For a kind information,
Do any public services give donation? No. Ratan Tata, if you know, he has given many more donations. And foreign money, BSNL have given their company to Tata Group. I would like to ask you one question.
for a kind information, did private sectors have helped India to help to develop or such other things? Whereas in public sectors, they have
The question which you are asking is completely opposite because privatization is the most and main majority important for our GDP of a country. You know what is the GDP of a country now?
Can you say that how much percent of GDP is contributed by private only about private sectors?
Before answering your question, please answer my question.
For a kind of question, 14% of GDP is attributed by public sectors, and rest is applied by taxes and GSTs which are given by citizens. And public.
Companies and all. What do you say about that?
How can you say that nurses have only private?
Highest growing GDP of the whole world. What do you say about this? The main reason for this is GDP.
First, you should ban privatization because it has many more frauds, many corruption. Corruption is not only in public sector, but it is also in private sectors. It has many frauds in corruption. Yes,
Not to make, not to privatize government. We are saying this and you are saying opposite.
you just said that our aim is to government should be privatized.
I say our aim is not to privatize the government. Our aim is to privatize the public service. So I say that with us. And it will help in development of country economically. For example, I will give GDP. And
How it helps? Can you say
GDP,
GDP? Except GDP, is there something else?
GDP except
Because from starting your journey, Modi is giving 8,000 for farmers. Do you know that? Yearly 8,000. First it was 5. After it is raised by 8,000.
more facilities, more betterment of.
And it is not for who has 8 acres plus 10 acres. The farmers who are poor, who has only 1 acre land, who are cultivating in that.
Do you know
Modi
the
is giving only
fact
that.
that privatization will reduce the poverty?
Can you pardon?
What? Sorry.
Pardon, please.
I said that, do you know the fact that privatization will reduce the poverty? Without which, how can you say this?
So, public services have reduced poverty
How
from.
much? Poor are still poor. Why is India still a developing country?
Can you say how much percent of countries is in poverty?
Wait. 28%.
Then, which is poverty is less or more?
But poverty is there.
Poverty will be there.
Poverty. Why we are saying still, if you are providing very, very nice public service, then why still poor people are poor according to the question I asked you?
See, there are many billions of people in this, and only alone public services cannot handle. There are many, and not private sectors can only handle poverty, or they are the best. Because private sectors are many, they are not being with government, and some companies don't have license. They come in the market and form monopolies.
One more I would like to say is that contractors, if you know contractors take contract and they will try to build better services for people, but not all the money is used in that building. For
So
example,
contractors
if
build
you
their own companies, right? Like constructions and all. The contractors build their private agencies, not public agencies.
government
And it also comes under privatization. About privatization. So we are saying privatization is not good.
I said government facilities are not much better than
How can you say that? gardens are not? How can you say public gardens are not
Our
good?
garden is the best example. It is so clean, neat, and tourism increases. This is the development for a country. If you would like to visit, do you want to visit a clean and hygienic washroom or a washroom which is used by everyone?
You're saying that garden tourism, right? Then why government started the Vrindavan garden when it is already present in Mysore?
Then why here it is delayed?
For a kind person, it is not delayed. The labors is insufficient or not? The labors are not
Please
sufficient.
listen to us also.
We are listening.
We would like to end up. Privatization is very best for public facilities because it will give more facilities.
Children, I hope the words of war has no end. So we give chance for the audience. If audience have any questions, they can ask. Audience are allowed to clarify their queries. Please raise your hands. We can provide the mics.
Any one person can come on the stage just for their opinion, to ask their opinion. Anyone. The private sector is giving you 1 lakh per month, whereas public service is giving only 50,000 per month. So public sector is giving less money than private sector. But in the public sector, the job is permanent and registered by government. It's not illegal. It's a relevant job. Rules and regulations are followed. Job security, and if you take holidays, they will not earn any money like private sectors. So you did pay for 15 days, 5,000 cut. They will not do like that. Paid holidays, fixed working hours, good working condition, and pension. Pension will be required. Pension will be given on requirement. But whereas the opposite, this is the opposite in the private sector. Whereas it is not registered under government. It's not a relevant job. No rules and regulations are followed. No job security. No paid holidays. No fixed working hours. You can be called at night also when you are sleeping. And not good working condition, and pension will be also not required. Which job will you choose? Answer
Counter
is
question to you guys. If government, of course, they select the private public service by category wise. If you struggle for 3-4 years and you are just taking 550 and the SC is your like category wise, they are taking 350 and they are selected, you are not selected. What do you think you will choose? According to him, okay, it's right, but with that you have to do a private job for your secure life.
Very good, dear children. It was an epic showdown.
There are reserved seats. Don't you think if it is privatized, everyone will get equal chance? And it is a development for one country also.
So you are opposing reservation for a kind of function that SC and ST are the minorities. And the majorities are Hindus and Muslims.
But I am asking about development of a country. Whenever you give exams such as UPSC, how much ever you study, how much ever you get good marks, your job is given according to your category. And if in privatization, they will see your skills, how much you are talented. On that base, they will give you wages, and on that base only they will give you job.
Are the jobs are fixed?
Jobs are not fixed, but
So we are saying that public sector jobs are much better than
why do you worry about jobs? Why do you worry if you are skillful and talented? You have to go for 4-3 years for the government job, whereas if you are skillful and talented, private companies will take you whenever they want. And why do you think about your job security if you are talented and skillful?
What proof it has that will keep you until
That is based upon how you are. See, in the public sector, what happens? You know that your job is secured and fixed, so you will be lazy for the efficiency of work, and you will not have much pressure also as the private company. Yeah, and private sectors need to work because they have some increment and promotions and all.
so you are saying that private jobs are much better than public.
Yes.
So can you Do you know the frauds in private sectors? Do you know how many frauds are happening in private sector? Like ICICI Bank in 2016 was about 3,250 crores in, and the fraud was exposed by Arvind Gupta, who was a member of the bank. And during the pandemic from 2019 to 2021, hospitals have done many fake surgeries, and percentage of the fake surgeries was about 44.6%, and the hospitals were only private sectors, not from government sectors.
Yeah, very sorry.
Everyone knows the Ramdev Baba, right?
Students, time over. Conclude.
Miss, I would like to ask one last question. If BJP is only thinking about privatization, then what is your problem? The central government is
Just I mentioned, you're not going for any personals.
I was very impressed by both group. I want to make little clarification with the Yash. All the public companies or public enterprises also has to be registered, and the public employees also have to have paid leave. Maybe not pension, but they have to pay PF. All these facilities are there. Only in the small companies, only not registered, not this working hour is not defined only. Possible in small companies which are not need not be registered. If it is a company, if it's a big company, it has to be registered, and even the owner who started the company is not the one who decision making. There will be a board of directors, so they cannot do what they want. That's small correction here.
Basis, privatization of public services has its own advantages and disadvantages. Both the teams have done your best